Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. This is our passion project on the BEIS Weekender bag. We hope you enjoy. My name is Ava Podmoro, and I am joined by Madison Sangster, Olivia Mold, Avery Lance, and Marissa John.
The name BEIS is a homonym derived from a variety of different words that hold value to the company's core brand identity. Established in 2018 by celebrity Shay Mitchell after she wanted a bag that both looked great and had all the features that she preferred while she was traveling as her acting career started to take off. BEIS was built from that desire and values, quickly gaining popularity through social media, where consumers could share their experience, thoughts, and feelings and display their products with ease. As of 2025, the brand BEIS has several lines of luggage and baggage products, each targeting different target markets and segments, providing value specific to those areas and offering multiple variations. Our team has chosen the staple BEIS product, also known as the Weekender bag, as our focus to break down, understand, and showcase the specific marketing strategy BEIS uses to sell to their consumers. The Weekender bag includes multiple variations, colors, sizes, and design features. BEIS primarily uses a direct-to-consumer purchasing structure, primarily through their website and verified social media channels, with additional sales through partnership retailers including Nordstrom and Bloomingdale's, to name a few. Prices will range from approximately $120 to $250 Canadian, dependent on the specific variation of the Weekender purchased. Materials of all variations can include vegan leather, poly canvas, and canvas hybrid materials, making the products very durable and longer lasting. A high-level overview of the Weekender bag's primary target market are young adult women between the ages of 25 and 40 that have an undergraduate degree, are working full-time within their field of study, and are within the first 10 years of their career. These consumers have income ranges that allow for discretion on purchases that go beyond just function and need, giving the ability to purchase products that add more of an extra or luxury value like the Weekender. We explore this target market in more detail in 3 different personas in the next section.
We've come up with 3 personas that really capture the overall personality of the BEIS Weekender bag. Starting with number 1, 27-year-old Amanda. She was born and raised in Vancouver, BC. She is currently a content and event coordinator for Hotel Bleu. She works a busy job with lots of overnight trips. She's really the organized traveler who combines function with fashion. She's in need of a multi-purpose bag with an elevated visual. Amanda finds herself to be easily influenced by social media ads and is a loyal fan of Shay Mitchell's, so for Amanda, purchasing the Weekender bag would be a low involvement purchase. Being away on business so often, she needs that go-to bag with all the bells and whistles. With the shoe compartment, the laptop sleeve, and the suitcase strap mixed with the minimal yet trendy visual, the Weekender bag is the perfect travel bag for Amanda. Persona number 2 would be Lucas. He is the minimalistic man who appreciates simplicity and convenience. Born and raised in Toronto, 31-year-old Lucas always strives for modern simplicity. Lucas is a marketing consultant and frequent business flyer. He is style conscious and values convenience. He requires a minimalistic yet well-designed bag that elevates his everyday life. And more specifically, his travel routine. The Weekender bag makes for an effective carry-on bag, allowing Lucas to pack for 1 to 3 nights, keeping his things organized and looking great doing it. Given that he values simplicity, the Weekender bag can double as an everyday work bag with a quick zip of the zip-off bottom. Outside of his work life, Lucas takes weekend getaways with his wife and their friends, making for a multi-purpose bag. That leads us to persona number 3, Christina, the practical type A mother of 2 that values organization and minimalism. Christina is a 43-year-old dental hygienist and mother of 2 small children. She lives a busy life while balancing family time with work life. She is in need of a multi-purpose bag that she can use for her everyday life. Christina needs a well-structured bag with various compartments to meet both her and her children's needs. She and her family often go for overnight or weekend trips, where a bag like the Weekender would truly come in handy. Christina can be slightly frugal and is often known to be a conscious shopper, meaning her purchases are often strategic and come with a thought process. Therefore, this would be a moderate involvement purchase. She likely would research competing bags like the Calpic Steven bag and the Away Everywhere bag, or an Amazon alternative, but ultimately choose the BEIS Weekender bag for its convenience, stylish neutrality, and high perceived value. With Christina being such a busy mother, she often finds herself in a bit of chaos. The Weekender bag allows for slight chaos while still looking chic and organized. Now on to perceptions, how the BEIS Weekender bag will make the consumer feel. I've broken perceptions into 5 perceptual stages, starting with the sensation stage. This is where consumers will first notice the Weekender bag's high quality materials and minimal functional design, creating a strong initial impression. Then, organization. Consumers will assign meaning to the bag here. They'll see it as a stylish, convenient travel essential that's shaped by expectations and word of mouth. Then the reaction stage. This is where the positive perceptions of the bag's look, quality, and features will increase the likelihood of purchase and further brand engagement. Just noticeable differences, or J&D. This is small product upgrades like smoother zippers or stronger stitching that enhance the bag without making older versions feel outdated. And then on to perceptual adaptation. So BEIS keeps consumers interested by refreshing their colors and styles so the product remains exciting over time. BEIS effectively shapes how consumers sense, organize, and react to the Weekender bag, leading to strong purchase intentions. Overall, consumer perceptions position the Weekender as a high-value, stylish travel essential that blends function with fashion.
Motivation is a key driver behind why consumers decide to purchase the BEIS Weekender bag. Therefore, motivation shapes consumer behavior. There are 2 main types of motivation influencing this decision: utilitarian and hedonic motivation. Product appeals to travelers seeking convenient styles and brand identity, bringing us to the question, why consumers are motivated to buy the Weekender bag. First, utilitarian motivation focuses on functional needs. Consumers are looking for solutions that make travel easier and more efficient. The Weekender bag meets those standards and needs through its organized compartments, durable materials, and overall practical design. This appeals to people who value convenience and want a bag that supports goal-oriented, efficient travel routines. On the other hand, hedonic motivation plays an equally strong role. This is where emotions and aesthetics come in. Many consumers are attracted to the bag because it's stylish, trendy, and aligns with the BEIS brand image. Owning the bag can make people feel more confident, fashionable, and put together, which connects to Maslow's esteem needs by helping them express identity and status. Finally, some buyers experience an approach avoidance conflict. For an example, debating the price or whether they really need the bag, this tension between logical, functional value, and emotional desire often shapes the final decision. Consumers may question price, size, or necessity. While our overall impact, purchase driven by a blend of needs and wants, there's functional value and emotional identity with even that celebrity influence like Shay Mitchell. Motivations collectively guide the final decision to buy the Weekender bag, shaping consumer behavior. Overall, consumers are motivated by a mix of functional needs, emotional wants, and internal conflicts that all work together to influence the purchase.
Consumer involvement can be explained as how consumers process the information and how this information might influence their purchase or consumption-related behavior. Looking at the involvement for a purchase, it can vary on different levels, intensity of interest, and personal importance. Specifically, the 3 types of involvement including low, moderate, and high. It is extremely important to companies and marketing specialists to understand the level of involvement that is necessary for a consumer to purchase the product or service. This helps to understand how much time, effort, and thought consumers will invest before purchasing. Looking into the BEIS Weekender bag and where it falls under the level of involvement it takes to a consumer to purchase the product, it would fall under a moderate to high involvement purchase, and this is due to many different factors such as price, durability, performance, and functionality. Price is a huge factor in why the BEIS Weekender bag falls under a moderate to high involvement process. High involvement decisions carry a higher risk to buyers if they fail and often are associated with items that may carry a higher price tag. The BEIS Weekender bag is priced at $132 Canadian, which is not necessarily life-altering as some luxury items or appliances, but for a travel bag, it has a higher price point, indicating that consumers will take more time deciding if they want to purchase the bag and pushes the level of involvement of the consumer towards a moderate to high level. Durability and performance also influence the involvement level of the BEIS Weekender bag. Consumers purchasing a travel bag want something that can handle frequent use, heavy packing, and transportation, so they look closely at materials, stitching, zippers, and storage features. Because higher involvement products carry greater perceived risk, buyers spend more time ensuring the bag will meet their standards and last over time. This functional importance contributes to the BEIS Weekender bag being considered a moderate to high involvement purchase. Social aspects and visibility. Social influence strongly shapes consumer behavior by affecting decision-making, social norms, and the desire for belonging and approval. These social aspects also increase consumer involvement as buyers consider how a product will be perceived by others. With Shay Mitchell, a well-known actress, as the face of the BEIS brand, the Weekender bag carries high social visibility and style appeal. Because consumers care about the image and identity expression, the perceived social risk of the purchase is higher, contributing to a greater level of involvement. Features and functionality. Features and functionality play an important role in shaping consumer involvement, as products with more attributes require greater information processing and comparison. The BEIS Weekender bag includes several notable features, such as laptop sleeve, trolley pass-through, key leash, removable strap, organizational pockets, wireframe opening, and bottom compartment, which consumers evaluate carefully when comparing brands. Because these features require more consideration to understand and justify the purchase, the BEIS Weekender bag reflects a moderate to high level of consumer involvement.
Moving on to the framework of value, the first being functional. The core value is that the bag saves time and essentially simplifies the travel life. The focus is on organization and durability. Next is emotional, in which it provides a sense of reduced anxiety when traveling, as well as bringing an aesthetic appeal to your travel gear. The hedonic style makes travel feel less stressful. Life-changing connects to the ideal self. An example of this is self-actualization, of being a prepared traveler. Lastly, the social impact, achieved through social validation and a sense of belonging to a stylish traveler. Next, moving into drivers of brand value. The internal influences are functionality, pricing strategy, and founder effect, which can be shown by the smart design, the affordable luxury positioning via direct-to-consumer model, and a strong social media presence, as well as credibility from celebrity CEO Shay Mitchell. Moving on to external influences, being social validation, competitive position, and reputation, can be showed by positive word of mouth through their online that essentially drives brand attitude. Price point is mid-tier, which successfully positions the bag above lower cost options, but not as expensive as luxury. And then finally, it is perceived as an essential high-quality solution for modern travelers. Actual versus ideal self. The practical planner. The perception of this is that travel can often be inconvenient, disorganized, and overall stressful. And they want to connect the brand to this by seeking out a organized, durable bag solution that essentially meets utilitarian needs. The effortless traveler can be shown by someone who wants to appear stylish, put together, and in control. They want to visualize going through the airport effortlessly. The brand connection is that it satisfies the need to express a stylish self, or in other words, the hedonic needs. Bridging the gap between the ideal self and the actual self can be shown through a practical chic design as well as functional utility and aesthetic style. The actual self in which the functional needs are met, and the ideal self in which the hedonic needs are met.
Attitudes are feelings and emotions that lead to behaviors and beliefs an individual might have over a specific item or a specific situation. It's an important concept to understand, especially when trying to establish a marketing strategy that can be successful for either a product or a line of products. There is no one-size-fits-all method or approach to determining the true attitude of one or multiple consumers, and instead, a best course of action is to use multiple methods and approaches to determine what that is. In BEIS's case, our team used two approaches to define the attitudes of their consumers towards the weekender bag. The first approach is the ABC approach, and the second is the value expressive approach. Starting with the ABCs, A for affects or feelings and emotions, B for behaviors, and C for cognitions, which are also known as beliefs, we have identified a few different things. Underneath feelings, purchasing a weekender bag includes happiness, comfort, acceptance, value or being valuable, and a sense of being proud. Behaviors are displaying of the bag, sharing publicly the purchase of the item, and also expressing those emotions and feelings. Cognitions include believing the bag will make an individual feel more stylish, as well as believing that it will fulfill a need specific only to a base bag. The value expressive theory is a consumer's ability to share their values and beliefs onto others. It is very well understood that social media has played a large part in the overall success to BEIS, but also specifically the success of the weekender bag and its popularity amongst consumers. Social media gives easy access for consumers to share their values and beliefs, as well as listen and participate in other individuals' values and beliefs. When we go back and look at the ABC approach and look at the defined points underneath affects, behaviors, and cognitions about the weekender bag, making sure that the value expressive theory is part of the marketing strategy is important, as a big reason consumers gravitate towards this bag is that they not only have the ability to, again, share their beliefs and values, but because they heard the values and beliefs of others. Overall, it's determined that a positive attitude towards BEIS bags is established.
The decision-making process. The consumer decision-making process is the process by which consumers become aware of and identify their needs, collect information on how to best solve these needs, evaluate alternative available options, make a purchasing decision, and evaluate their purchase. Within the consumer decision-making model, there are 5 stages that a consumer goes through, including need recognition, information search, evaluation of alternatives, purchase decision, and post-purchase evaluation. Within this section, it will discuss the BEIS weekender bag through each step of the consumer decision-making process. Need recognition is the first and one of the most important stages in the consumer decision-making process, as it begins when a customer becomes aware of a need. For the BEIS weekender bag, this need often arises when consumers realize they require a new travel bag, perhaps because their current luggage is outdated, too small, or lacks functionality. The need may be both practical or social. Practical is when consumers are seeking a durable, reliable, multifunctional bag, whereas social, they are desiring a stylish new product that supports self-expression. The strong online presence of BEIS and its founder Shay Mitchell also helps trigger this stage by keeping the product highly visible and desirable. Information search is the second stage of the consumer decision-making process, where consumers gather details to help them make an informed choice. Consumers may rely on internal search, drawing on memory and past experiences, or external search, when additional information is needed. For the BEIS Weekender bag, external search is especially common due to its high price point and strong competition. Shoppers often visit the BEIS website, read influencer and customer reviews, and compare features and pricing with other brands. Because the bag represents a high to moderate involvement purchase, consumers typically spend more time researching before making their choice and purchase. Evaluation of alternatives is the third stage of the consumer decision-making process, where consumers compare different options to determine the best fit for their needs. This evaluation involves both objective criteria, such as features, functionality, price, and durability, and subjective criteria, including feelings towards the brand and customer reviews. In this stage, consumers assess the BEIS Weekender bag, compare it with similar products from brands like Lululemon, Lowe's & Sons, Callpack, and Monos. They focus on factors such as price, material quality, brand reputation, and unique features. The BEIS Weekender bag stands out due to its strong organizational design and high social visibility, making it a competitive option during the evaluation process. Purchase decision is the fourth stage within the consumer decision-making process. In this stage, the consumers are ready to buy, have decided where and what they want to buy. Within this stage, there are several factors that influence the final choice, such as brand trust, positive reviews, convenience of ordering online, and perceived value. With looking at the BEIS Weekender bag within this stage, if the consumer feels confident that the bag meets their expectations and their needs, they will proceed with the purchase. For the BEIS Weekender bag, brand image can be very important to some buyers within this stage, as they are influenced to purchase more as it is a well-known brand that is popular and has many good reviews. The last stage within the consumer decision-making process is the post-purchase evaluation. Within this stage, the consumer reflects on their recent purchase and thinks about how they feel about it and if it was a good investment and if they will return to the brand to purchase more products in the future. There are many key factors that are associated with post-purchase feelings, such as functionality, durability, and aesthetic appeal of the product. The consumer that purchased the BEIS Weekender bag will look into the personal experience they have had with the bag and look into how the BEIS Weekender bag met their expectations. If the BEIS Weekender bag meets their expectations and consumers are happy with their purchase, they are more likely to recommend the bag to others, write positive reviews, and order other products with BEIS in the future.
Group influences play an important role in the decision to purchase the BEIS Weekender bag. First, reference groups, especially those influencers, celebrities, and online personalities. They all strongly help shape consumer perceptions. Because BEIS was founded by Shay Mitchell, her followers often view the bag as an extension of her lifestyle. This makes the product more aspirational and it increases that brand symbolic value. The peers and influencers and celebrities shape what they consider trendy. While in social media, Instagram, TikTok, they create the pressure to match those popular travel aesthetics. While the visibility of BEIS, their products boost that desirability and their brand legitimacy. Another factor is social class and lifestyle groups. BEIS is positioned as a premium yet accessible travel brand, which appeals to consumers who identify with modern, minimalistic, and organized travel cultures. Owning the bag becomes a part of expressing that lifestyle identity. That brings us to that social identity theory. Owning a BEIS bag signals to belonging to a stylish, organized travel lifestyle, while some consumers may use that bag to express their identity and aspirations. Shifting into cultural trends, while some view BEIS to be quality over quantity, which that mentality does support the higher quality purchases, which also brings us into that minimalism and investment pieces. There is seen a demand for durable travel bags, which is in positive for BEIS. Friends, family, and peer circles can influence people through word of mouth or shared experiences. For an example, if someone sees their friends using the weekender bag while traveling, they may become more inclined to buy one for themselves, either for social acceptance or just because they trust those recommendations from the people close to them. We also see the impact of those online communities. TikTok and Instagram and even YouTube create reviews, which does create that bandwagon effect, where consumers feel encouraged to join a larger group of people who already own or recommend the product. Overall, group influences help shape how consumers perceive the value, style, and status of the BEIS weekender bag, which reinforces motivation and ultimately supports their purchase decision.
The BEIS Weekender Bag is a multifunctional bag used for travel, weekend getaways, and everyday commuting. The BEIS Weekender Bag combines functionality with style and practicality, designed with the consumer's needs in mind. The BEIS Weekender Bag offers consumers features such as being laptop-friendly, trolley pass-through, key leash, removable shoulder strap, organizational pockets, wireframe opening, and bottom compartment. Not only does the BEIS Weekender Bag have incredible features that consumers are searching for when purchasing a travel bag, but is also made with 100% poly for the body and lining of the bag, vegan leather for the trim, and nylon zippers, making the bag extremely durable. The BEIS Weekender Bag is a stylish and aesthetic bag that draws consumers in, and the bag comes in a variety of different colors, allowing for any individual to find exactly what they want and need. Overall, the BEIS Weekender Bag was made with the consumer in mind and is designed to help ease the common frustrations of traveling by offering a well-rounded bag for consumers.
So, moving on to the price, the core strategy that BEIS currently implements is affordable luxury. The BEIS brand is positioned as a mid-tier level that currently implements value-based pricing. Now, what is value-based pricing? It is setting the price based on the perceived value to the customer and not just the cost. And then a recommendation that we have for BEIS to implement into their pricing strategy is price skimming. This can be shown by implementing limited edition colors to maximize revenue during high demand cycles, such as the holiday season that brings in many travelers. And this strategy reinforces the brand's aspirational and exclusive image.
BEIS uses social media driven promotion, highlighting travel aesthetics, packing videos, and product functionality. Influencers and Shay Mitchell strengthen brand credibility and connect with those aspirational travelers. With user-generated content, you see those reviews, travel clips, and even those unboxing videos. Those help build trust and showcase the real-life use of that product. Focus on affordability and luxury promotes and emphasizes style, quality, and value over competitors. For recommendation enhancements, we think spotlight a diverse customer lifestyle and also develop a digital travel community, expanding on that. And who knows, maybe even potentially collaborate with airlines, hospitality workers for those authentic endorsements.
The location consumers use to access and purchase the Weekender Bag is closely linked to other aspects of the company, including the brand image, company values, and company goals. The Weekender Bag consumer is usually an individual who is on the go, a frequent traveler, and often looks for convenience and efficiency. These are 4 place-based strategies used by BEIS for the Weekender Bag. Number 1 being direct-to-consumer convenience. BEIS primarily sells through its website and social channels, aligning perfectly with the on-the-go consumers who value convenience and efficiency. Number 2 being selective retail alignment. Partnerships with Nordstrom and Bloomingdale's reinforce the stylish, fashion-forward image of the weekender bag. Number 3 is opportunity for expansion. So we believe that BEIS should introduce retail presence in travel-centric locations such as airports, train stations, and transit hubs. This would reach frequent travelers directly in their journey. And then number 4, BEIS should ensure that each retailer is a strategic fit for the company. They should ask themselves, does this location perfectly match the target market's mindset, needs, and perception, as well as BEIS brand values as a whole? I've come up with 5 people-based marketing strategies for the BEIS Weekender bag. Number 1, highlight customer multi-use. This would show real customers using the Weekender bag in different lifestyles to highlight its versatility and authenticity. Number 2, enhance customer support team and engagement. You could enhance customer support with interactive tools like a "What kind of weekender are you?" quiz to boost personalization and engagement. Number 3, they could build a BEIS Travel Essentials community through Instagram messaging channels to encourage sharing, connection, and positive word of mouth and electronic word of mouth. Number 4, creating gender-neutral social media content to broaden the Weekender bag's appeal and attract to new audiences. And then number 5, they could feature airline and hospitality workers in marketing to provide expert, real-world credibility and reinforce the Weekender as a security-friendly, high-performance bag.
To conclude this presentation today, we want to recap some of the main points of this presentation. The first being market success. The BEIS Weekender bag has achieved market success by blending their utilitarian functionality and the hedonic style. Next, the target market is primarily young professional women aged 25 to 35 in their early career phase. Moving on to dual motivation, the Weekender bag is driven by a desire of being organizational, practical, and stylish. And then the key driver is the brand's powerful social media presence, which ultimately has been crucial in a high word of mouth and positive attitudes for the brand. Now moving on to recommendations, we have 3 main recommendations for the BEIS brand in general. And the first recommendation is to expand their gender neutral marketing. And this can be shown by actively creating more gender neutral social media content. And the goal of this would be essentially to capture a larger, more diverse market segment. And then the second recommendation we have is foster digital community. And this can be shown by implementing message channels, for example, through BEIS's Instagram DMs to engage more online users, as well as encouraging sharing online of packing tips or other tips and tricks that go with the BEIS brand. And the goal of this would be essentially to foster a sense of belonging and boost positive word of mouth for the brand. And then lastly, we have leverage industry credibility. So this can be shown by featuring airlines and hospitality workers in their marketing channels. And then an example of how this could work is to position the Weekender bag as an expert approved, highly reliable travel solution. Thank you for taking the time to listen to our presentation on the BEIS analysis. I am happy to answer any questions that you may have.